Hey guys, welcome back to Playing in Space with Planet Head. Um, so uh, Today's video will just be a continuation, obviously, of the Return to Eve. I think the last video I put up was the um, hasn't actually posted yet as of today, but it was the first issue of the Planet Head's Garage, and I will do another video down the road to link up with that one um, to. Kind of do what I've been saying I was going to do there. But today's video is kind of special for me. A couple different things. I don't want to say I cheated, but I broke my own rules. So I'll talk about that as to how I'm wanting to play. Um, Kind of went on a little bit of tilt there. Not really, didn't really get upset. It was more so I wanted to get something done, but probably could have waited. Second part is a new update. I had no clue. This is how off in my own little world I am. A new update dropped today. Um, and so that's out there. Thirdly, and this is probably the most largest part of the video, but I'll probably leave it closer to the second half, is about 2 videos ago, if I'm remembering correctly, I did a very basic um, video about drones and nothing instructional, just kind of like going through that and got some really good comments in there and really kind of spurred me, made me really happy because there were comments and then also replies to comments that were really good pieces of information that some people may or may not know. A lot of times when you have conversations, I think about different things, especially as big a game as Eve is, the two parties may know 80% of all the information, but together they can bring along, get both of them up to 90% by just having a conversation about it. So that's really, I think, a lot of what this video series is about, just talking about stuff. It's not really instructional, but maybe inspiring people or helping them along any way they can and just enjoying them. Lastly, if you can't tell, I have a cold. So I know my voice is normally pretty nasally uh, because I broke my nose twice when I was a kid playing sports. Never really got it fixed the second time. So I normally have a nasally voice, but if you can't tell, I got a pretty nasally voice right now. And I'm doing this video now. I was thinking about doing it tomorrow, but I can tell the headache from the cold starting to build up in my head right here. So I thought, let's just do the video before I get upset. Oh shoot, forgot my hat. Got to put my Eve hat on, keep myself warm. There we go. That's better. Um, that said, uh, let's get into it. I know there was something else. So real quick, um, the update that went out today. I don't even know the name of it. I was totally unprepared to do this video. But I'm not going to delve into the parts of it, but I did notice one thing that popped up just a second ago, right before I did the video. And that was, I don't know if I could do it here. I think I can. But this is and maybe this has been around for a while, but I don't think it has. When I went in and did a view of my current ship, show info, it actually popped up with a brand new window. Now, or I don't think this is the same window. Um, so I think this is an update to the character. So I'm gonna dig deeper into this. Literally, right before I did this video, I pulled this up. Um, so I don't think this was around before this update, but this looks pretty cool. Looks like they've got just a breakdown of different things here. So that said, maybe I'll take some time in a future video. Um, but secondly, or not secondly, prior to that, one last little update. I actually started this video right now um, because I'm completing a mission um, that took me a long time, and it shouldn't have taken me a long time if I was properly fitted or if I was properly skilled and fitted. And this kind of goes along the lines of um, doing the working your way up towards things. I've got my little cruiser basically fit. And I want to say this mission took me like 2 hours, and all it was a point and shoot mission. But these guys were chewing up my armor, so I had to basically align myself in a way away from them and just pick them off one at a time. And whenever my armor got down enough, I'd warp off, then warp back, and just rinse and repeat. Well, interesting this time because it was the first time. Boy, would this get boring after a little while. So really, it's pushing me to try to make my character better. Um, Probably after I make this video, I'm gonna go through all of my skills and make sure that they are 100% up to date, because I don't think they are. So I'm gonna check that out. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and complete this mission. It is a very lucrative mission from what I can tell. It's called the Blockade. Left a lot of equipment out, a lot of um, ship wreckage that I can salvage. So I'm going to go do that when the video is done. But we're going to go ahead and complete it. Plus, it was worth a decent amount of ISK and a decent amount of loyalty points for a level 3. So again, I was able to complete it with my junky little uh, uh, Vexor fit, but it did take a lot longer. Definitely not if you're trying to power game, not what you want to do. Um, but for me, it's interesting as of right now. If I came in every single day having to do this and a lot 2 hours to actually finish a mission like this, then it would get a little bit boring. That said, and this is where I get into, I'm cheating a little bit. I don't want to say cheating. I'm breaking my own rules. As you know, I'm trying to build ships and then figure out what parts to sell off those ships, not off the ships, but through the market and grow that way. Uh, 2 episodes ago, I brought up the fact that I came up with a new Vexor fit. Um, I think that's going to post on Thursday, so this one will probably wait. Today's Tuesday. That one will probably post Thursday, so this one will post Saturday. So you'll see that. Well, you'll have already seen that when this video comes. Yeah, the cold's hit me. Um, that said, I was flying my old Vexor with the old fit and screwed around too much with another mission and got blown up. And instead of taking the time to build my old Vexor fit, I just wanted to finish the mission, so I went and bought the new Vexor fit and started using that. And ironically, within 10 minutes, got that one blown up. Because, and only for the fact that I was taking things to the edge. You know, I was flying and I was like, okay, we're down to 30% structure. We should warp away. And then you get hit too many times and you get blown up. So I was pushing things to the edge too much. Finally, just went out and bought a second one. So, and I finished it with that Vexor and then did this one. But that's where I've cheated. Normally, I like to wait until I can actually build the fit that I come up with. I'm still going to work towards that. Um, but I kind of cheated there. I don't want to say cheated. I adjusted the rules of gameplay. How about that? Or my rules. Okay. So that said, I apologize if I get away from down this subject line. But most importantly, this video, I wanted to focus on some of the comments that were brought up in a couple videos. Normally, I wait like 2 or 3 weeks before I go over comments, but these were so good. I think because they're an update to the comments. So let me just go ahead and pull those up here. Got them off the screen here. It's going to run a little slow. And now I read through them once and I just kind of kept them in my mind. Um, the reason for it, I think it was episode, let's see here. Oh wow, I'm getting even more comments. I have to start keeping up on these a lot better. Um, this was episode 24, drone info comparing drone boats. So if anybody's ever watched this video series before, this isn't an instructional set of videos. It's just basically going through my discoveries or my things that I go through as I return to Eve after taking a hiatus for about 6-7 months. And just kind of spurring these thoughts up. But that said, during the video, if you want to go back, it was episode 24. oh shit, I didn't do my disclaimer. If you are new to the video series, if you want to check it out, I've actually put a playlist in the description that starts from episode 0 up through this episode, which one is going to be either 26 or 27, something like that. But some really good comments in there, probably more comments on this one than I've ever had. And I just want to go through them here. Maybe I should just start from scratch. Return Eve, drone info. Oh, actually, a lot of comment applies here. Return Eve, drone info. Okay, drone info, drone info, drone info. Okay. So the first one was from Mr. Merchant. He just started watching your return to Eve videos. Oh, this was just want to play as well, but don't get much time. Good to see you. While it's not pertaining to the drone mission, I really appreciate that. Mr. Merchant, just a heads up, man. I literally play on my work days about an hour a day. And my non-work days, off and on, 30 minutes at a time. Some days 30 minutes, other times 2 hours. Especially as an alpha, if you want to get back into play, you still can, man. It's all good. I'm not killing myself trying to power game through anything, and I'm still having a lot of fun. So hit it up there. So appreciate the comment there. My buddy Kasperius, he says the Vexor Navy is going to take a lot of effort to make. Oh, this was important. I remember reading this. Um, so in that video, I talked about wanting to either move up at some point to the Vexor Navy issue or the Myrmidon, and I was trying to decide which one to do. And he pointed out that it's likely almost impossible to do it as an alpha, only because if you're going, and I'm going to read this um, almost word for word. If you're going to do it all yourself, man, this Conspiracy, you are really well. Well, I'm a goof, well versed in writing. Um, you can get a blueprint with enough LP from the someplace like Fed Navy, but when you drill into the components are, you'll find yourself doing into reactions and component BPs requiring moon, ice, and PI material. In other words, I would have to buy um, these materials as an alpha because I probably, unless I was part of a big group, probably not able to get these materials on my own. So, really good point there. And I 100% agree. Probably the next step, once I get off of the cruiser part of it here, I'm still going to do this for a little while, is to move up to the battle cruiser and build a Myrmidon or a Brutix. Probably the Myrmidon because it is the better of the two drone boats. But really appreciate that. Then there's some really good comments in here. Troy Mackey, the Gnosis is my go-to. Uh, Even with max alpha skills, you lose so much potential from the standard ships. Suits any weapon platform. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember this correctly, but he does say, but you can't build it. Okay, so the Gnosis, and I'm going to run through a couple reasons why I haven't flown it. And our best friend here just showed up. I don't know if you guys can see her. Um, Yep, there she is. She's sticking her face in. How you doing, Maya? Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Almost dinner time. Almost dinner time. I gotcha. Um, so let me just pull up the Gnosis here, and I'll show you. Uh, so the Gnosis, if I remember correctly, and if I'm wrong with this, again, I'm pulling from old history. Gnosis is a ship that is given out a lot of times for anniversaries, like Eve anniversaries and special events. Um, There it is, and this will do video. Wow, yeah, this is kind of nice. I like this. It looks like a new interface. I don't think this was there before today, but that is the Gnosis. In the lower visuals, of course, I gotta get a new computer. Um, but great ship. If I remember correctly, it's only given out to people, players for events. The other thing to it, and there's a couple of these ships that are out there that go through the gambit. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that instead of going by skills, it just gives you raw bonuses. So it doesn't really matter what your um, medium hybrid weapon damage is or whatever. And it can be used by any faction. You've got a base amount of a bonus that you're going to get no matter what your skills are, if I'm not mistaken with that. Really good ship. Two reasons why I'm trying to stay away from it. Number one, I can't build it, so I'd have to just buy it straight out. Number two, I know that it's more you fly it around, you could be a target to be ganked because I know there's people out there that do try to shoot it. I haven't moved very far away from the trade hubs yet, so I would be in an area where it might be targeted. So while a very good ship and could help me on my level 4s, level 3 missions, right now I'm not going to use it, but a really good point there, Mr. McKay. Mackie, I apologize. Um, but so that is where I'm at there. A uh, mistake that I made in the last episode, which was pointed out to me. Um, the command burst that is given by, I think, battle cruisers um, doesn't just affect other ships in your fleet or in your area. It also affects you. So I think it was the Myrmidon. Let's pull her up here. I think it gave you a Myrmidon. Yes, it gets a 50% command burst area of effect, which increases the drone velocity. Oh wait, no. Command burst bonus. What is the command burst of it? I'd have to look into it. In other words, I had said that the command burst doesn't affect you; it just affects the people that are around you. I'm pretty sure that that is, or that was incorrect. That was brought up by uh, Timu Sarpolo. And now that you say that, I think I remember that. So don't discount what I said in the last video, or discount what I said in the last video. He's correct. You'd have to look into what the command burst actually does as a bonus, whether or not it's worthwhile for you to do, but it does still affect your ship. That said, so this is where it gets really kind of cool. Started seeing a few people bring up a few things and then other people replying to it. And this is from same person, Tim O. Sarpola. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 7389. If and he asked the question: if your drones fly faster, which I brought up in that video, um, do they have a harder time hitting their target? And Jolly Green Tank replies to this, well, yes and no. Depends on what kind of movement speed you're referring to. Their flight speed is the speed they move between targets and has little to no effect on their hit chances. So getting from point A to point B, no problem. Their orbiting speed does affect their hit chances. However, most drone boats have a standard buff to drone tracking speed um, that easily compensates this. So this is where I think it's your omnidirectional um, uh, tracking link or drone link um, does actually help with that. On the top of that, you have to have trouble getting consistent hits with your drones. You can add an omnidirectional tracking enhancer module to buff the drone's tracking speed, but in general, drones hit pretty consistently. And I would 100% agree with that. I've run into that past. Every once in a while, I remember back when I used to play, my drones would have issues with hitting another ship. Um, and I'm sure it's bigger in different situations. But number one, again, really great information there, and I like the fact that you guys are actually answering other people's questions. Less work for me. Um, so also, Jolly Green Tank replied to, oh, this was a different um, episode of mine. I'll hit that one probably later on. I want to make sure I hit the drone ones here. Um, thing to consider is drone choice is EHP. This is from Jolly Green. Man, you've got your drone stuff down, Mr. Tank. Um, Amar and Galenti drones have a bigger armor tank but smaller shields, while Caldari and Minmatar have bigger shields. Um, now, I like Caldari drones for the same mix of damage and speed, but also they have the biggest shields of all standard drone types. Uh, Meaning, if they are being very watchful, it gives you the largest time buffer to recall them. So in other words, when you're watching your drones and they start getting targeted, he's saying that the Caldari drones give you a more of a time to see that that's going on. So that's why he likes to use them. And then Viking Kong actually replied to his, saying, in practice, warriors and acolytes end up being more survivable because they're harder to hit and being able to return faster when they do take damage. So here's an interesting part. You got two people who like their ships a different way. The Caldari drone has a bigger shield, which makes it easier to hit. But so if I'm understanding it correctly, whereas the Warriors and the Amar ships are tank fit, so they're harder to hit, and they're faster, so they can return faster to your ship and get in there. So it's all in what you like. The whole idea of that video before, I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes ago, um, was not to tell everything, but to get people interested in digging into it. I'm really liking following up with it because I didn't have to do this research. Now I've actually learned from you guys, and I'm going to carry on through that. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the content. Last one about that video. Wow, this is probably the most commented video I've ever had. Have you tried leaving your drones? I've actually done this. I remember reading this one. Have you tried leaving your drones while you jump out, selecting reconnect with lost drones? When you jump back, should save time waiting for them to return unless the rats attack them. So I normally try not to leave my drones for that exact reason of the last message, unless the rats attack them after you jump out. I usually, if I jump out and the drones are accidentally left or I leave them on purpose, um, I will usually lose at least one, maybe two drones. And I think it really depends on what NPCs you're going up against. But and especially I'm using really cheap drones right now. Down the road, when you start buying your Tech 2s and your Navy issue and some of the higher level drones, um, I think then you definitely don't want to leave those suckers out there. I've lost a lot back in the day whenever I used to fly drone boats. I lost a lot of good drones that way. So you again, you can reconnect them. I've actually changed my one of my shortcuts to reconnecting with the drones, um, just so I can do that easily and quickly. I don't have to look it up and try to figure out it every time because I don't do it a whole lot. But when I do it, I definitely want to get them back into the ship as quickly as possible. So that's all of that. Here's where me being sick is, and the dog is looking at me strange now. I'm trying to remember if I hit all the points of the video that I wanted to go over. Whew, I think I have. Just talking this much has kind of worn me out. All right. Um, so really appreciate the comments. You guys are saving me a lot of time and research. Um, I am going to be starting to look into, I want to build the parts to this Vexor or what I have to do. It has not been as big a bonus as I thought it would be. The reason why I say I need to go through my skills, I don't think I had planned on moving up to the cruiser as quickly as possible or as fast as I have. And now the dog has climbed onto my face. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. How can I make videos with this thing looking at me the whole time? She literally stuck her tongue down my throat. That's ridiculous. Uh, Completely befuddled now. What the heck was I talking about? Drones? No. Oh, so the reason why I say I need to go through my skills is I had been flying the whatchamacallit, the frigates, and then I moved past the destroyer straight into the cruiser so I could fly that quickly. If you want to check that out, it was like 10 or 15 episodes ago. Um, but I didn't go through the skills, and here's the funny part. This is why I say I definitely need to go through all my skills. I only had Gallente Cruiser level 1 before I started flying this cruiser. I never updated it. So we're going to fix that right now. I'm going to throw in, so I'm going to be flying this for a while. I'm going to throw in at least the first 3 levels of it. I'm not sure if 8 days, I'm not sure how long I'll be flying the cruiser for until I move on to the battle cruiser, but at least this right here will get me those bonuses. So I haven't been doing as much damage with my drones because of the bonuses that I'm not getting. So definitely missed out on that. So I think it's always a good idea, maybe once a month, to just go through your skills and kind of plug right through them. I think I touched on this a while ago. I'm really only raising most of my skills to level 3 with this alpha character. There's going to be a few, as you can see in my queue, that I'm going to raise to 4. Kind of the goal there is any skill that only takes 4 days or less, I'm going to take to level 4 if it's helpful to me. But I don't want to limit myself to different things. Now, once I go on Mega, getting it to level 4 and level 5 will be very important and very helpful. But I don't want to waste 8 days to get a skill that only gives me a 5% bonus whenever I can go to a Mega. Once I get to a Mega, I can get that skill in 4 days. So I think you guys understand. So I'm only going to level 3 unless it's a very important skill. Um, so that said, uh, I think I'm done. The cold has hit me. I think I missed something in the video that I wanted to do, but I can't remember what it was because it's been like 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Other than that, appreciate you guys. Uh, I hope you have a great week. I'm going to be heading back to work tomorrow. So fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however that you want, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.